All right, so what is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Sam from TeamSamuraiX1 here, and today, guys, I'm with the second place WCQ 2018 and the second to last place at WCQ
Same deck.
2018.
Same deck.
Wait, so you guys played the exact same list?
Exact same list.
Yeah, I think
altering results.
I think we spent like close to 50 or 100 hours working on.
It was a long
for
time.
Worlds, and then we played the same list. We were turning in deck lists. We handed each other the iPads to make sure we were playing everything the same.
The
and it was all
Konami
good.
database, like deck constructor, was actually really good. I advise you to use it to make your regional deck list. I think it's like the greatest invention known to man.
And then every card that we played that no one else played, whenever Bohdan drew it, he won. Whenever I drew it, I lost. So that was it was
great. It was great.
How was your tournament experience this year?
I went undefeated till the finals. I drew with Jesse in like round 3. Yes, people want to argue that's not being undefeated. I just did not lose a game. Jesse and I drew like game 1. I hand trapped him twice, but I hand trapped him like incorrectly one time because we rolled a dice and they were the Millennium Peace dice, and I didn't know what they were because like coming from Europe we don't have them. Well, like coming from Australia we don't have them.
You're right.
So I thought Jesse rolled a 10. Turns out he rolled a 5. I had rolled a 7. And so like I almost let him go first, and I was really like tilted. So I'm just like, oh, I didn't cherries his junk forward before I multi-fake, and he just like destroyed me like game 1. But it took a long time because I cherried his firewall, so it just like had to keep playing.
Right.
And then game 2, I just like burned him out. He had to red reboot. He was on 550, and we drew. And then I just crushed everyone else. It was crazy. Like I got lucky, but I just destroyed everyone else. So that was cool.
One more thing. So on the finals live stream, we saw you extend the handshake like over there after he activated.
I was
Mind
gutted.
Crush.
Do you know why? Do you ever watch?
Here, explain
hold up.
Explain why.
So you see this right here, right?
right.
I lost because of this. I lost because of Father Time. So, you know, maybe next year I can get that. Maybe next year it'll be a 1-hour final instead of a 50-minute final. However, for now, we have the second place deck profile.
Okay, awesome. What about no further? Let's get started, bro.
All right, we have 3 multi-faker. This is Ryan's deck, by the way. I didn't max it out. Ryan played the higher rarity, more expensive deck and did worse.
There we go. So
that's evidence that it's not pay to win. You can just play all the crappy commons that I played. Oh, lint. Anyway, so multi-faker, whatever.
Okay, awesome.
And then we have 3 Marionetta. Every time I drew this card, I won the game, and half the time I draw it off the top, and it would win me the game because it's a trap, it's a monster. It turns into this, it turns into every other Altergeist in your graveyard, and it's just really good. There's like a combo where you summon this and attack, you summon this, you pop this, you summon another dude, you get to attack twice, do some damage. Like you get to be the aggressor in a deck that like shouldn't be the aggressor, and you just get to keep flipping back and forth. It lets you pop your protocols and your manifestations that are like floating on board. Well, like not floating, but like they're just sitting there. And then you get to like, again, make double hex deers, like stuff like that. It was like, this card was like insane.
Right.
This card's just like by default insane, but like this card was the nuts.
Okay, one more question. Why did you guys decide to play Altergeist and not Goki?
What, it just had the better Goki matchup,
so basically what we thought was going to happen was we thought it would just be a bunch of really degenerate Goki mirrors, and we didn't really want to be a part of that. So as you'll see when we get further in, this is just like the most absurd, like almost unnecessary anti-Goki list you could play. And then we thought we were going to be really cheeky and be the only Altergeist in the room. Turns out there were 19 Altergeists or something, some crazy number.
Some ridiculous majority.
It was just like more Altergeist than Goki in this tournament, and like it just didn't work out.
Do you know what's crazy? I versed 2 Trickstar this tournament. I think there were only 2 Trickstar in the tournament.
Yep.
One was in the finals, one was like the last round when I'm locked in. It's ridiculous. So these are the nut cards. Like this one you have to play. We almost played 1-for-1. 1-for-1 was like kind of cool because we have a lot of hand traps, and then like I think 1-for-1 might have been better because we knew like a lot of people were playing Altergeist. So maybe like 1-for-1 is better because like you can't really utilize a lot of the hand traps that we did play. So if you draw like 1-for-1, it turns into this, it turns into Link Reaver, Clara and Rushka. You get to just like do a lot more with it. But yeah, no, like summoning it and attacking and like killing a card is like very unexploitable in like a lot of decks. So like this card was insane. Like probably like all these cards are just so good. Like all the Altergeist cards are very underrated. Like playing this deck this weekend, I think that this deck easily could have been a contender for the WCQ season this year. So that's coming somewhere.
Yeah, I'm actually inclined to agree. I think Altergeist has been very underexplored and underdeveloped compared to the other decks. I think Multi-Faker lets you do a lot of like unreasonable things that like just people haven't figured out. And I think that like this probably wasn't even the best way to build it. I think there's probably going to be better ways to build it when more people start playing.
Correct. Wait, how broken is Impermanence and Faker?
I drew that once, and when I drew it, my opponent summoned Border in the finals. That was the only time I ever drew that. Like, it was crazy, but
I drew it once and I won the game, like, and it just auto won the game. I drew it. I lost the match, but I won the game. I drew it.
I call this one the horse, the bird. Turns out we actually do play the horse.
This is the horse.
Weird. This one is the nuts. This one is so. Like, you don't like it that much.
What does the horse do?
We'll forget about this one. This one sucks. But this one is nuts. It is.
We put that in our deck for one reason.
So magical mid-breaker field, is that what it's called?
Yeah,
TCG?
magical
okay, so like,
field.
so when they have that, you would not be able to Siliquidus, Siliquidus, whatever the fuck it's called. Swears. You can't balance, right? Because mid-breaker makes it so you can't target, you can't destroy it. So our play was you would fake up into Conqueror, target the mid-breaker, it's negated because it says target any face-up card on the field, negate its effects, while this card is face-up in the field as well. So this is the combo, you hit the mid-breaker, you get to Ogre, if you have this on board already, you get to use this, like a bunch of other stuff. So this was like the line. There's also like some hands where you get to just set up with this and this, with this in hand, and some Goki decks won't summon a Zold, they'll try and attack and you'll just do this. If they go Super X something, they'll try and attack, you get to go, okay, I activate the effect, balance, like do this again. If they have another extender, it's not 1%, no. So like, if they have another extender, obviously it's like bad, but there's some scenarios where like they can't break like this combo and you get to like float this twice. So like, it's ridiculous.
There are also some really funny hands where sometimes you, it's like kind of a brick where you will draw like both of these, and then you just have a back row to like bluff a protocol, and you summon this, and then they'll try to attack over this, and then you negate it, and then this is just like, they can never attack this, and you just keep bouncing their guys.
Like this and this is like the nuts combo.
And it actually just stalls the game for long enough that you'll usually like, you'll stall out long enough to draw something playable in most instances. It just kind of slows the game down like a lot.
Nice. Ooh, now we get into the fun part of the deck. The cards that didn't really do that much.
Table. 3 Reaper, 2 Ash.
Ooh, these are the nice high rarity Ryan cards again.
2 Bell.
Crazy.
And well, this is just at 2 in Worlds, so that's why we put 2 of that.
Let me put it this way. This card wasn't very good. This card's just very good against Goki, and we sort of applied it to Ultra guys where it's just like, if they just summon Melustic turn 1, you discard it, you hit the Link Karibo, they can't do anything, they sort of just pass. You can hit Hexia as well, where like in the mirror match, like hitting Hexia is like kind of cool game 1. Obviously, like, this card just gets sided out pretty extensively across the board. Even against Gurki we were considering, right, going first.
What?
It was like, no, it wasn't Gurki, so it was Pure Sky Striker we were siding it out.
Yeah.
Against Gurki, this was always
going first and going second, it differed a lot for most of our side playing, like obviously, but like this is a card like against Sky Striker, going first against Sky Striker, since they have Link 1s, you can never really Reaper them if you go first.
Also,
against
the
Goki,
fact that they have a lot more rays as well.
Yeah.
So like you can never hit like the correct one. Yeah. I feel like if Hornet Drones was at 3 and maybe like some other alternative universe when we weren't playing Sky Striker at that point.
Oh yeah.
We would be like
Reaper on drones is so ridiculous.
Yeah, because you're just hitting Kaigari and they just can't do anything. But.
Or you hit Shizuku and they can't do anything. You know, if they're like opening,
to an extent, because
if they're
at that
just like
point,
opening
you can just,
plays
like Cherries versus the raid, they'll summon like Kaigari or Shizuku, you hit the other one, right?
Yeah,
so it's the same sort of deal. This one was like surprisingly average, but almost every deck played Pot of Desires. This is just bad against the older guys mirror match. Weird. I probably should have sided it out in all of my older guys mirror match.
It's like so.
There's only so many protocols they can have.
Yeah, it's very underwhelming.
Yeah, there's only only so many protocols they can have. Urga seems a lot better when they do have protocol because you just hit the multi-faker.
Yeah.
And then you just they have the
or you hit the protocol. Hitting already face up protocols with Ogre's very big.
This is good against
just for Goki, basically.
Yeah, I mean it's good against like a lot of things. Like weirdly,
it's good against. Oh yeah,
very
it has
niche
a lot of really
scenarios, right?
Hitting Call by the Grave is I think its best application right now.
Yeah,
like like I always felt very safe opening that.
I
This is very safe.
opened that, and I forgot that I could do this on Call by the Grave, but it didn't matter because I used this on his rematch, which was the only extender he really had to my other third hand
Second
trap.
place,
Ghost
Bohdan
Ogre.
Temnyk. Second place,
Weird. No,
Bohdan
it was all a calculated misplay. Yes. These were our hand traps. Gross.
Yeah, 2 desires and then 1 duality.
So we were mulling over like which ones are like the most correct ones. This one feels better against like tri-gates when you like try and force the negate some of the time, or if they gumbler you. If they gumbler you in like a weird fashion, you can just do that and it draws 2 cards. That's pretty cool. This one seems weaker though because a lot of your hands like tend to they do special summon on your turn, like the level 1 dude, like multi-faker can like be applied on your turn, stuff like that, like Marionetta especially. So like one of this seems weird. I had like my list before this weekend was like 1/1 and then a 1-for-1. So my aim was just like, I don't want to draw 2 of this, I don't want to draw 2 of this, and 1-for-1's just like broken, right? Like 1-for-1's just another like Ultigat's monster. But then like Ryan sort of just like swayed me towards this, like this card's just busted. It draws you 2 cards. Obviously, the amount of times that I activated and drew 2, like in top 4 I activated, drew 2. I think in the finals I activated and drew 2 at one point.
As opposed to times you draw less than 2. Like what are you what are you getting?
Sorry, I drew my second. You know what I mean? I drew my second.
You drew both copies.
Yes, I drew both copies. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, what are you? Anyway.
Did you ever get punished when using desires?
I got Ash maybe once or twice.
Round 4, I decked out twice.
Jeez.
In the same match.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're second last place.
Second to last place. I desires into desires, decked out, because I had to play a second one because of a weird game state. Then I desires into duality, and that duality revealed 2 blanks and a desires.
Jeez.
Weird.
Perhaps
so I decked out
the other desires.
Oh, I took the blank, then for turn drew desires. Anyway, that was my world's experience.
It happens.
2 protocol, manifestation. I think these are pretty self-explanatory. They're just kind of there.
I mean, we had a second one of this for a minute, and then like, nah, like that one sucks.
They're just kind of there.
Banishing this kind of is awkward.
Yeah,
but,
it doesn't matter.
like it's a weird scenario.
3 spoofing, again, that's just kind of there. Like it's just good.
Like the card should say, if that card said Ultigat's spoofing, it would be the best card in the game. Weird.
I lost round 1 because I drew Mind Crush and my opponent drew 2 of these.
Oh,
so when he used one,
that was last year's world champion. Where's Ryosuke? Yes.
Explain that. What happened?
Yeah. So I had a Mind Crush and I was waiting for him to use his spoofing.
Activate
so
spoofing,
he like
shuffle
got
a card
that.
back.
Yeah.
Add a card.
I Mind Crushed it, and then he flipped his second one.
Eat some shit.
It was the good old.
Having 2 of these plays around Mind Crush.
It was the good old switcheroo. It was the good old switcheroo, and I went neg a billion, and then lost. Crazy. And that happened game 1 and game 2. Ladies and gentlemen, you're second to last place worlds 2018. That was the difference in our tournaments. This card, this is also pretty. That's just.
I hardly ever resolve that from my hand.
Me neither, actually.
So we would side this out because like having to set this.
Going
this is just a worse breakthrough skill.
We sided this out.
This was just a worse breakthrough skill, right? So like not like a worse one. Like obviously you keep it in against matchups where like you think they're gonna have like floodgates sort of. So like I guess like the finals opponent, like you sort of just have to keep it in going first, right? Even though Light Stage just like sort of snipes it, you set it. It turns off Gerzen like on your turn. It turns off like any of the floodgate things, and it'll turn off like Inspector Border. So that's like a plus. If anything's behind it, weird. Like why was Border and Gerzen here? But yeah. So like I think this card is good in certain scenarios. Otherwise, going first, I feel like it's just not as good. And there's like better cards in our side deck, but. Like this card is just too good not to play.
Yeah, of course.
Especially going second, like you can play it from your hand.
I'm gonna say too good not to play in this deck. I think
in this deck,
definitely arguments on not to play
definitely.
3 Mind Crush. This was the one that Bohdan really wanted. I wasn't as sold on it, but I think it was very good. I think it was very good. I think it was pretty unfortunate when it ended up happening to me, and like that was not the average occurrence. Like most people don't
like
have 2 spoofings.
in the finals. So even though I was gonna lose by the life deficit anyway, like without this card, if it was Strike, I'm losing by the life deficit. If it was any other trap card that we were going to play.
Anyway.
So like the reason we played a card like this is because like every time we were playing Strike, is because we would get Gumblood for 4 board like in testing. So like our main exploit, like for some reason like people just weren't playing Gumbler.
Yeah, nobody was
Some
playing
people
Gumbler.
weren't playing Gumbler at this event.
It was really weird. It was really bizarre.
Yeah, so like when people aren't playing Gumbler, I think playing Strike is correct because you can pair the other card we played, Rivalry, which we'll put on the table right now. So you can pair Rivalry and Strike, and it outs the Eurolink board. Well, like to an extent, because obviously a lot of the
it gives you a fighting
just
chance.
like crazy.
And also, one thing I will say, I felt like a lot of people. I think it was just like the pressure and just maybe like the formats were a little bit different. A lot of people, if you had a hand trap, their boards would be really weird.
Yeah,
like, a lot of people
like,
all had. There didn't seem to be
Jesse
any
sort of ended on the correct.
I have to say, Jesse, I think has it down to like a science.
Yeah, Jesse was the best.
And Jesse, like, if you hand trap him, I feel like he just has like a flow chart where if he gets hand trapped in any position, he knows still what to do.
Yeah, like Jesse has a decision tree.
Yeah.
Like,
but a lot of our opponents, if you hand trap them in some awkward spot, they would end on something really awkward, and Rivalry would usually just rip the whole thing wide open.
So like knowing that, maybe like playing Strike would have been correct with this. But the whole so like we explored the whole idea of like, oh, I'll get Gumblood and I'll have this plus Strike. We tried to pair this with Battle of the Elements. Obviously, like the card ruling had changed.
Yeah.
So like double Rivalry or something. When they have like the Gumblood board where they have like Tri-Gate as well. So if you Rivalry and Strike, they still kill you.
Yeah.
They have Gumblood, Firewall, Link Reaver. Oh, they don't have Tri-Gate. Yeah, the Tri-Gate dies.
Yeah, they do.
How? You negate
Tri-Gate Cyber. That's if they have Cerberus, then it's just still lives.
Cerberus, yeah. Again, like they just have enough Cyberus monsters, and you also just like have one card off the top. Like you can't really do anything, so it's win.
Battle of the Elements. I think like for this event we asked, and I think all events, everything going forward should do this. Battle of the Elements requires both players to have a face-up monster.
Yeah.
So if you, I do not think many people knew that.
Yeah, if that card
if that card did not have that restriction, I think we would have played it. But when you get Gumblered, you don't have, you can't go summon a monster. Set
you also can't play Gerzen in this deck.
Yeah, Gerzen doesn't work in this deck.
Yeah.
And then last card was just Order. This was just a blowout. Like, it's whatever. It could have been any trap in theory. Could have been like Judgment or Strike, or whatever. This is just a trap.
Awesome.
Extra deck,
extra deck, side deck, whichever one.
Extra deck. Side deck is the spice, yeah.
2 Extia.
Whatever.
Prime Banshee.
Whatever.
Never mind. Yeah, Kadolga. That card doesn't
I made it once. Didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Go on.
Soul.
Cherry's target. However, so there's the point where I play against Goki and I just did not actively play around their own cherries.
Yeah.
So I just didn't play around Jesse's cherries, and he cherried me, and my Azul banished, and I had to cherry his Firewall. So remember that, kids.
Clara and
This card you have to play.
So this one, you play it. It's just a Link 1 you can only use on a normal summon monster. It has no effect and 0 attack points up. Seems pretty awful.
It's a spellcaster.
Yeah, it's a spellcaster. So when you Rivalry and you have a Meliseek that you need to clear, you can't summon Link Karibo because Link Karibo is a Cyberus, right? So you have to summon this instead. And some people weren't playing this, and they were playing this, and I thought that was I guess it was just an oversight. Because after I told people about this, I feel like all of them were like, "Oh, I should have played it," So I think that was
like
just
the
an
last
oversight.
World Champion played 2 Link Karibo.
Yeah, I reapered the Altergeist in round 1, and I saw his extra deck, and he played 2 Link Karibos and didn't play Clara, and I got really confused.
But we sort of understood why he played Link Karibo shortly after. So like hindsight, maybe we would have played 2 Link Karibo for that scenario of like Inspector Bodo.
Yeah.
But however, like this one I think has to be in your extra.
It has to be in there somewhere for sure. Ningirsu, so this is one of the easiest ways to out Phoenix Goblin. We have 2 ways to like reasonably out Phoenix Goblin, and this is if they have Phoenix Goblin Mermaid, but you've like reapered them for a soul and you like have them under Rivalry or not under Rivalry. You just have them like contained.
Well, I mean, you can have them under Rivalry. But like at the same time, you can't summon it warrior. But anyway, go on.
But you have it kind of contained with like protocols and all these traps, and you just like end phase, multi-faker, manifestation, summon a bunch of monsters, and then you can send the Phoenix and then attack over the Mermaid and then just kind of break it. Because most of it is kind of hard. And then
it's like Link Karibo
the other card, I think everybody was playing all their guys, but I'm not actually sure, is Agashik Magician. this is you need 2 monsters of the same type. So when they do the Phoenix Goblin, which this deck has a lot of trouble getting over, Phoenix Goblin has to be because they point
it'll be
left.
like one
of them
like one
has to be in the extra or under the extra monster zone.
Yeah.
So you just get any 2 spellcasters, summon this, and then you bounce the Phoenix or you bounce the Goblin, and then ideally you bounce the Phoenix and then attack over Goblin. But if you just bounce the Goblin and then you can target Phoenix, it doesn't matter anymore. Right?
It's also like just an out to where people like just place this stuff very awkwardly.
I technically outed an Inspector border by using an Ash and a Reaper to make Akashic and bounce the Inspector border.
That's crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're second to last.
No cards left in deck.
But then I decked out next turn.
You were crazy.
Second to last place, World Championship 2018.
Ooh, it's a Ghost Ray Firewall.
Yeah.
You cherries it.
You cherries it.
It's a mermaid. You summon it with Ably, and sometimes you cherries it off a shared right in weird scenarios.
Yeah. Phoenix.
You can actually summon this.
You can summon this. Yeah. Unicorn.
You summon this sometimes.
Yeah, and you can read whatever.
That too.
And then for Reaper, Kagari, Shizuku.
Like I feel like you had to play these. Sky Strike is like kind of a rough matchup, and like having Burrs, especially because they have more ways to get to raid than they do to Hornet drones in like the current like OCG worlds, banlist, or like whatever it is. You know.
Want to squad with the spice?
Yeah. So well, this is not just third ogre, not the spice.
A nice hand trap package.
2 more Veilers. So we just needed cards to side. We had like 3 or 4
we had
side outs
going second. At some point, like Deity Crows seemed good in theory, but like
no, it
just seems better.
It just seems really bad. It just seems really bad. Okay, Spice
wild.
Part 1. So we were kind of stupid and we didn't play Inspector Border, which was like the nut for this tournament, but we made up for it.
Inspector Border for longest time.
So 2 Thunder King.
Okay, so mid breaker field, right?
Yeah.
So if you summon this and they mid breaker field you,
we were really scared of magical mid-breaker field. We were really scared for weird,
we're dumb, weird.
Yeah.
So we have this, like even against Goki, it's like not that bad. But they'll go like summon Super X, summon Bear Hug, summon Super X, summon Scorpio, summon Super X, summon some other dude that's bigger than this, like which doesn't exist. So they would attack over it, and you'd be like, oh, whatever. And then they go to main phase 2, and then you get to interact with them because the mid-breaker field doesn't like work.
Only works in main phase 1.
Yeah. So like,
and then sometimes you just have traps, and you can just protect Thunder King.
Yeah, like Thunder King.
Sometimes you just open Thunder King Protocol Multi-Faker, and there's no out in their binder to that. So, and that's just it's done.
I summoned against Trickstar Sky Striker last round, and his hand was just like it was like Light Stage, Engage, a bunch of other search cards, and like
this was round 5.
Right?
Round 5. Yeah.
And then in the finals,
this negated a Cyber Dragon.
In the finals, we had the hot 2008 Summon Thunder King. My opponent summoned Cyber Dragon. I negate this. I literally looked at him and said, "What year is this?" And he's just like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I'll explain later."
All right. I mean, so this is the real Spice. This is a card that arguably should not have been in our deck.
Oh, it was the nuts.
Lullaby of Obedience.
Every time I activated this card, I won.
What'd you call?
I would. So this was for the mirror match, right? I would be calling Marionetta. I'd be calling Multi-Faker. Multi-Faker is like under circumstances where I have another card to bounce. Otherwise, you never want to bounce your own Multi-Faker. But there's like some hands where you get to just summon your own Milusig, and it's like okay, and then you let theirs die, and like back and forth. However, right before the finals, we came to the conclusion. This was insane. Like we were dying.
Yeah.
So against the Trickstar deck, we would Lullaby Inspector Border. This served as an out to their Inspector Border on the field, knowing that he played 3. So if he had Border, we would have 4 outs. However, now we have 6. We'd activate Lullaby. We'd call Inspector Border. If he summons it, good. We crash. If he adds it to our hand, we normal summon it. Crash, right? And then we get to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Or
2000 defense. I don't know.
I love those guys. They keep us spying good. Weird. But then, like, obviously, like, in the finals, the more I saw his deck, I realized, hey, like, he plays cards like Cyber Dragon.
Okay.
Like,
so what happened in the finals, his opponent summoned Border, Desires.
Oh, yeah. That
Bohdan goes Lullaby, triumphantly, Lullaby, call Inspector Border. 2 were banished off of Desires.
I was tight.
Bohdan swiftly loses.
If I knew he played Cyber Dragon, so if I knew he sided Cyber Dragon going first against my deck,
could have Lullabied for Cyber Dragon.
I would have Lullabied Cyber Dragon, and I would have won on the spot.
Yes.
But he has Cyber Dragon in his deck, right?
So I had to inspect his deck because he had no legal targets like Lullaby.
So we got to look at his opponent's deck, which is actually, even though he lost game 2, since there were no borders left in his deck, he did get to just look at his opponent's deck. So
Oh, I
that's
was
pretty
also like
useful
hoping to
information.
Reaper him because I wasn't sure if he was playing Waking the Dragons either.
Yeah,
Like, none of us
yeah.
saw it. It might have been there, but no, like basically the application was just against like Altergeist. And against like Josh and Isaiah, I would just like lullaby, and I got to get Marionetta. Like getting Marionetta to the field or to your hand is just
The
insane.
other thing, if you activate this on a turn,
the funny combo.
If you, this was the funny combo.
Activate Pot of Duality.
Okay, so duality and then this, which is cool because we only played one duality. I opened this, was duality lullaby. So you can't special summon, so they have to add it to your hand. So I dualitied and then I lullabied calling Ash.
However, I think that was incorrect.
However, I should have called
got
Inspector Border.
Marionetta.
I should have called Inspector Border.
Maybe.
I should have called Inspector Border. I think I summoned Marionetta anyway, but I think I should have called Inspector Border. And then the other thing is a turn
If you multi-faker,
a turn you
on your
multi-faker.
turn, you get to activate that. Yeah.
Because multi-faker
You
says
can only
you
summon
can't special summon
Altergeist.
anything other than Altergeist.
Yeah.
So that was another cool application. Is you could rip a hand trap from them.
However, in time, his card sucks.
Yeah.
Weird. But if time doesn't exist, cards good.
Yeah.
Play it on your dueling book, right? Like,
Yes. 3 shared ride. This was just overlap for Goki, and
that
it
card was
doesn't-
like painfully.
Yeah, I think there should have been mistaken arrest.
I don't think it should be either. However, yeah,
Okay.
probably.
We at one point had shared ride and mistaken arrest, and we kept going back and forth of how many, and like it was like 2 shared ride, 3 mistaken arrest, 2 and 2. It was just ways to not lose to reboot, and it was the idea was something like if you summon this and then set this. Like if they draw reboot, realistically, what is that doing for them? Maybe even if they have an out to this, it takes their battle phase.
Yeah.
Then you do this, and then if they go for it, you draw like a million cards because not only do you draw for Gokis,
There was a card
you
we were
draw
alerted
each time
to
they add back
after.
Phoenix Blade. If they add back Phoenix Blade, you also draw a card.
However, we were alerted to the fact that Vanity's Call is essentially
Vanity's Call.
this, but better.
Yeah.
When they like Azoled with Gokis, and it was just a blowout,
Yeah.
right? So maybe that should have been there in hindsight. However,
This also overlapped against Pure Strike.
yeah, like
which we
that
didn't
was
have
that was
enough
the
for.
main reason, and like against Trickstar as well. Like whatever.
So then this was Bohdan really wanted this, and eventually I just kind of caved, and it was Dark Hole. It was Regeki is banned in the OCG, so we
So
could
in
not
the
play.
mirror match, this card was good, and
Yeah.
like when Inspector Mode is in the format, this card's good. Against like any like weird decks, again like Trickstar, like that was in my deck. You get to clear like multiple monsters for free, and like it just lets you. It also lets you break like Gozen, like when they have it
Yeah.
as well, which is kind of cool. Like it at 1 is like very awkward. You just have to have it.
Yeah.
Like I hardly. Oh no, I resolved it. I think once against the mirror match, and it was just amazing.
Oh, and then sometimes if you hand trap Goki and they end on some awkward board that doesn't have Cerberus, sometimes it just
Oh,
works. Like,
the idea was
sometimes.
also like some awkward Gumbler. Like so, like the Gumbler player, if they don't Gumbler, you would try it. Even if they do,
just
sometimes
Dark
you can
Hole.
like you can draw like Impermanence Dark Hole. Sorry, you can't Impermanence to try it. There was like some amount.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually don't remember how we figured. But there was some way we figured you might be able to go.
There was like
Goki
so like
somehow.
one game we played where we like hand trapped them in a certain spot. They'd still be able to Gumbler us for 4, and then like Dark Hole was a card off the top we could play and wipe their board because they could never Cerberus us. Yeah, so like that was like in our deck sometimes.
Yeah. And then in the mirror, sometimes it hits these really awkward positions, like right before they summon Hextia, but right after they start snowballing the board. So they'll have like a Faker, a Marionetta, a Sulcoides, Protocol, and you can just Dark Hole them, clear it. Now their Protocol's not live, and then you can just go in.
Right.
So it hits really weird spots. Maybe Stormduster. I think this was one of the best cards in the mirror. This card is just really good. This card created a lot of like conundrums of just like it was really weird how we sided because I always felt like this was a card you had to respect, and then eventually like I wanted to side like Cosmic Cyclones in the mirror, and eventually we were just like I don't think there's any way to really respect this. If they have it and you don't have enough traps, you'll just lose. And that sucks. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has like that sometimes.
And again, like we didn't have enough traps because we had to play all these hand traps for the fake Gurki
So this was
matchup.
this was just really good. Like it's just good against all the
Every
the
time
weird
I drew
decks.
it, it was just amazing.
Yeah,
so.
same. And then Judgment was just this is just another blowout card. It stops reboot. It just negates anything. Obviously, it's
subs,
just
like,
very like
evenly matches,
you just feel safe
stuff
having
like
it.
that. Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, so awesome. So that's pretty much it for the deck profile. Do you guys have anything else you guys want to say before?
Shout out to Yu-Gi-Oh!
I guess shout out to ARG. I didn't do that well, but maybe.
And also, like, can you guys follow me on Instagram? Gabe told me he got the hookup from Team Sam. Like, it's at BOHDAN_OFFICIAL_.
Okay.
Not the other one. Without the underscore, it's some random dude from Russia. Like, please, I need the clout.
Okay, no problem. Listen, I'll keep your Instagram in the description box below.
Straight thing down here, right?
Down there, 100%. All right, man. Guys, congratulations.
Two. And also bottom 2.
26. I don't have enough fingers for that.
All right, guys.
Shout out to Walter.
Shout out to everybody. All right, guys. It's Sam from Team Sam signing out. All right, guys. Peace.
I feel like Usain in the cheetah print. Talk fresh game, I don't need a minute. R.I.P. the game, I need a minute. Okay, let's proceed with it. I'm in the house, got the deed with it. These bozos always sneak this and they taking shots. I'm a key with it. Like no, this league business.